Right, Clarets, fan reaction, Portsmouth nil, Burnley nil. Well, I'm not sure what I've just watched there. Poor, absolute poor. Um, Start off with the good things. It's another point on the road. Another clean sheet, 8 in a row now, I believe it is. We're still not conceded one this year. Um, that amazing defensive record is still intact, so obviously positive about that. But defensively, we know that we're solid. But going forward, we're just so poor. Um, Today we made a team that are in and around the relegation zone look like a team that's fighting at the top of the league. We said about the Leeds game, a 0-0 in isolation of that game is a good point, but you have to follow it up with a winner somewhere like Plymouth. Not Plymouth, sorry, Portsmouth. Um, and like I say, no disrespect to Portsmouth, they've had a game plan today and they've come out with it and they've managed to get a point, which probably unfair on their part. They probably should and could have got all three, because we were hanging in that match for most of the way through it. Um, Ironically, I thought we started the first 5-10 minutes well. That we've created a couple of chances. Foster's had a decent chance, but apart from that, and after that, we just let them get back into the game. I think we showed them a little bit too much respect. We were a bit sloppy. Passes weren't going to the right players, but we're playing players in positions that aren't their positions, and that obviously has an impact on the team. But you still expect players to be able to pass the ball and control the ball and make moves. And all right, Foster's not a left winger, we know that. Fleming's not a striker, we know that. Sarmiento isn't the best in the 10 at the minute, we know that. Like, these players are playing out of position and they're playing poorly, but that's no justification for the fact that they can't pass and trap the ball. And yeah, just frustrated really, because thought today was a good chance for us to go, and build on what we got against Leeds rather than be happy with the point and go for another point. And I think we know that at the start of the season, Parker's goal was to get promotion, and it doesn't matter how you do it. It doesn't matter if you win the league or if you come up second or if you do it through the playoffs, as long as you go up. And I think that's slowly becoming evident if that's his goal this season, to get us up through the playoffs at the minimum. It's obviously his goal is to get us promoted, but it's looking more and more likely that the playoffs is acceptable because you can draw yourself through to get to the playoffs, and that's obviously what's happening with us. But yeah, like I say, you come out disappointed after that match because, again, no disrespect to Portsmouth, but they're a side that are fighting to stay in the league, and we're a side that's fighting to get out of the league, and go up. And you look at the players that we have in our starting 11, and then you look at teams like Leeds and you look at teams like Sunderland, and there's no player in that starting 11, bar maybe Fleming, that gets into any of the other teams that are up there. And, probably being a bit reactionary and a little bit emotional about it because, football's an emotional game and you get like that after a match. But it's just disappointing, and I can't believe we've had a good chance today to put the pressure on the teams at the top, and we've just thrown it away because that were poor. We've obviously no Brownhill in the team, and I know a lot of people give him stick and say, he can be a passenger and he goes missing, but I feel like we really missed him today. And Cullen was poor, Laurent was poor. That's a couple of games in a row now he's been poor. Anthony, I don't know what was happening with him today. I think he'd been out on the drink last night. But we're still third in the league, so it's hard to be too disappointed. But at the same time, it's just rubbish. That was just rubbish. Obviously, we've had quite a few chances late on in the game as well. We've put pressure on them. And you just thought, one of these might just go in, ricochet around the box, but just weren't going to be. I mean, you've had the blatant penalty as well, which I can't understand how the referee's not giving it. I'm not defending our performance for 1 minute, because if we had got a penalty and we'd scored it, it'd have been daylight robbery, because we wouldn't have deserved it in the slightest. But it's a blatant penalty. Perez has a shot there, lad basically catches it on the line. And the referee's got a good view of it, so I can't understand how it's not been given. But like I say, if it had been, it would have been daylight robbery, because we weren't the better side in the slightest. And the referee, I thought, was okay for the most part. Obviously, Trafford went down with his crying hamstring again late on. And their fans took some offence to that, but it happens. You do get cramp, but I thought Roberts was lucky to stay on the pitch as well. There's that moment just before half time where he makes a silly tackle, makes a silly foul, and he's already on a yellow card. And yeah, I thought he was very lucky to stay on the pitch at that point, because it was a silly foul to give away, and almost an unnecessary one, especially when you are on a yellow card. But look, like I say, we're it's another clean sheet, so that's 8 in a row now. 21 for the season, I believe, and now that's Trafford's 20th. So he's now a record holder, of the most clean sheets we've ever held in a season. So for a keeper who last season, was getting slated, letting goals in for fun, to get to that is absolutely brilliant. So yeah, please for Trafford with another clean sheet. And please for the lads in defence, because I thought they were all, obviously apart from Roberts making that mistake, I thought the lads in defence played well. I thought that was probably Perez's best game in a Burnley shirt, which is strange to say, but especially when you are so disappointed. But yeah, I thought Perez played well. Thought obviously the lads in defence played well. Trafford made an absolutely outstanding save towards the end, which isn't the sort of save that he would have made last year. So yeah, really happy with that. Obviously not happy with the result. Okay with the result, not happy with the performance. We need to start turning these draws into wins. We've got a big game on Tuesday against Oxford now. This is the run of games where we should be getting 3 points. And yeah, big game against Oxford. Let's go and get them. Up the Clarets.